Do you want to start your day better prepared and in sync with your team? Well then huddle up. In this video, you'll learn why huddles are a best practice, what to include in your huddles, and 5 things that could make huddles fail. Everyone's doing it. Sports teams, children, meerkats, Keanu Reeves.
Pain heels.
Maybe even your team. So what is a huddle and why do we do it? A huddle is simply what we call a team coming together to share information and actively manage issues that impact the day. It's brief and focused time set aside for team members to gather and communicate about what matters most and make a plan for the day or week. Using that definition, there's no wrong reason to huddle. Maybe your team wants to huddle to discuss improvement work, Joint Commission readiness, or simply anticipate the needs for the day. Or maybe you need to prepare, prevent, or debrief in time of a crisis. As my colleague Joy says, anytime you need to communicate on a regular basis, think huddle. One of the most common huddles, and a focus of this video, is a daily huddle, also referred to as a startup or safety huddle. In the book, Creating a Lean Culture by David Mann, he emphasizes these types of huddles as an integral part of a daily management system and a driver of accountability. In my experience, daily huddles are most effective when they cover these elements: readiness, reflection, recognition, and idea sharing. Let's listen in on the pharmacy team as they incorporate readiness into their daily production huddle.
Hi everyone, today is November 15th. We're going to do the huddle. Today's census is 301, a little bit up from yesterday. TPN is 42, pretty high. CRT bags still 5 bags, and then the dose yesterday was 5280, increased from 4600 yesterday. Who worked yesterday? How did you feel?
A little bit busy.
Busy?
A lot of sandals.
Because when the dose is lower than high, that means a lot of admission coming in. So we anticipate it's gonna be busy during the RSV season. But we maintain no eye care for over the weekend and then yesterday. Things
there was one question. It was just if belumocidil POM is kept on main 2 or main 3.
Okay, so that is hazardous one, right? When we checked it, we should move it to hazardous and then be part of the hazardous workflow. Where are we storing it here? Do you know? We'll check and then we'll move it over, right? Let me talk to you, Tian, afterwards.
Team readiness is key to anticipating needs and preventing harm. Readiness answers questions like, do we have the resources we need, like staff, supplies, information, or equipment? Is everyone aware of the current situation, daily workload, and the priorities for the day? Having readiness as a component of your huddle helps to serve the safety of both patients and staff by reducing confusion and preventing problems before they arise. Which brings us to element 2, reflection, where we ask questions like, what went well? What made yesterday a great day? Conversely, what didn't go so well, and what opportunities do we have for improvement? You can even use this time to reflect on progress towards goals, standard work adherence, or other performance measures your team is tracking. Let's drop back in on the pharmacy team and see how they use daily reflection.
What went well yesterday? All the people who worked.
We have a good teamwork even though it's a little bit busy.
No printer issues. Right?
No printer, everything working well.
I also think training went well yesterday. I think we had a couple of people training, so I know Far's here, I know a couple other people.
Yeah, even though on his first day he is
Yeah. Good job. And then it's solo day for you, right? Welcome. Training very well, very well. What can we do better? One thing was for morning technicians, I would like to make sure it's better to take a break during 2 o'clock carpool when you get back from the delivery and stay over to finish the sorting because it's been really busy and sorting has been delayed.
This brings us to recognition and should be easy to spot in the team huddle.
Who can we recognize? Yesterday we wanted to recognize Tammy for triaging printer issues over the weekend, Bernice for covering sick call.
So for sick call coverage, thank you Manette for helping cover, and also Vivian.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Camps is always so helpful, whether it's the DDP or other chefs, you always like take extra mile to help everyone.
We'll keep everyone in check.
Gallup's research tells us that recognition and celebration is a key area of focus to promote accountability. Praise for good work is the most motivating of all forms of feedback. Why not include that in your daily huddles? A fourth element to consider is idea sharing. Listen for how the pharmacy manager encourages ideas from her team.
Anything else to bring up? Something that's coming up, I'm still following up with Elena to create some tweezer container. She said she will label it. I don't know if it's done already. And the other one that we're thinking about is like ADC Huddle also. So like, I don't know if Eddie, did anyone mention?
I guess they're still in the works of what's a good time slot.
Yeah, I heard 10 o'clock just for 5 minutes might be a good time to check in. It's just that right now ADC 1 and 2 are not available. That they're like more like you are available, but it's very rare that people from ADC team is available at the huddle. So it will be a little focus check-in. Yeah, there's
nice.
Huh?
In a way, because that's when ADC 3 comes in.
Yeah. So then to capture everyone, right? So it's something that we would like to work on to expand the huddle. Anything else to bring up from the group? What color do you think we are? Green. Yellow and green. I think no major issue, right? They're all covered, so I think we can be great. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Robinson and Schroeder, in their book, The Idea-Driven Organization, stated that across organizations, 80% of improvement potential lies in frontline ideas. Huddles are a natural place to engage teams in generating ideas for improvement. But be aware, trying to solve problems in the huddle can be a trap and become a reason that your huddle could fail. We'll talk more about that later. But not all huddles knock it out of the park like the pharmacy team. Now I'm going to share with you the 5 common reasons that I see huddles fail. Number 1, the team is too busy to huddle. I hear that a lot, but think about it. When does a basketball coach call a timeout to huddle with the team? When the game's on the line and everybody needs to be on the same page to get the desired outcome. So wouldn't there be value in taking a pause and coming together with your team? Doing so can help reduce errors and overburden. I had an ED nurse once tell me, we huddle more the busier we get. That's when it's even more important that we have a plan or can escalate issues quickly. Number 2, huddles take too long. Let's be real, if it's greater than 10 to 15 minutes, it's probably a meeting. Huddles are meant to be brief and focused on the things that matter most. I was on a team where huddles ran long because we would fall into that trap of trying to problem solve in the huddle. After 20 minutes, you would notice someone on the team slowly backing away and others shifting uncomfortably side to side, just waiting for it to be over. One way to avoid this pitfall is to identify when problem solving needs to be taken offline. Record the problem on the huddle board and move on. It also helps to assign a timekeeper to keep us from going into overtime. Which brings me to number 3, and the reasons huddles often run long. Huddles need structure and benefit from standard work. Do your huddles have a consistent agenda? What is the format of your huddles? You'll need to work with your team to answer these questions and others like, where will the team huddle and what time? Number 4, team members don't see the value. If a huddle does not add value, not only will you not get the engagement, you may not even get people to show up. You may have asked yourself earlier, meerkats in a huddle video? Actually, they love to huddle, and it's crucial to their survival. They're not there to review charts and report out on metrics. They're there to survive the day and prevent harm to each other. Aside from sharing the daily tasks, a meerkat that senses danger will whistle or bark to communicate to their team to huddle up and scare off anything that's threatening. I'm not saying you should whistle and bark at your team in your huddle, but just like the meerkats, be sure your huddle has purpose. And number 5, inaction. Team members often think, why bother? Nothing ever happens when I bring up a problem. Inaction can significantly dampen a team's engagement in huddles. Lack of follow-up could prevent teams from bringing up important safety and quality issues that need attention and escalation. And anything that can't be solved locally needs communicated to those who can resolve the issue. Which brings me to tiered huddles. Let's take football, for example. We may not consciously be aware of it, but on any given Sunday, there are multiple huddles taking place on the field with one objective: prevention. The offense doesn't want to lose the ball. The defense doesn't want them to advance it. Now, we see the obvious huddles as the offense gathers to run the next play and advance the ball. When that play doesn't work, a timeout is called and the team huddles with the leader. Once the players return to the field, if any part of that issue persists, you may catch a glimpse of the coaches on the sideline huddling to anticipate the next moves by the opponent and strategize on a plan. In healthcare, this structure is known as tiered huddles. Tiered huddles are a great practice to prevent harm, assure timely communication of necessary information, and quick resolution of critical issues within the organization. In this example, you can see how a tiered huddle structure allows for closed-looped communication, connecting the front line to the leadership levels and vice versa. Leadership tiers receive real-time information from the front lines and in return assist with removing barriers and resolving escalated safety issues. Any issues identified by the frontline daily huddles can be solved, triaged, or escalated to the next tier. This pattern repeats all the way to the executive or enterprise level if necessary, often within just a few hours. A great example of this is the Medical University of South Carolina Health System. When they implemented tiered huddles, they were able to reduce the time to resolve an escalated problem from an average of 8.7 days to a half a day, and noted a nearly 200% increase in issues reported. Keep in mind, it's not all bad. When we do something well, tiered huddles are a great way to recognize others beyond the department level. Well, there you have it. Daily huddles are the playbook to anticipate needs, prevent harm, and increase situational awareness. They assure teams work together to communicate and manage what matters most through readiness, reflection, recognition, and idea sharing. They are a slam dunk to develop people, track goal performance, promote engagement, and resolve issues. You may encounter some of the pitfalls I mentioned, but with practice and the tips you learned in this video, all that's left is to believe.